And we're back with part 5 in Ash's adventure to give Kaiser the Mojave. Now, you may notice that Ash here has a cool new accessory. It is a GRA baseball bat, which I have been on the hunt for. We were able to get that off screen. We got the mods from Chet over in Good Springs, and we got the baseball bat over here from Johnson Nash, since we can now barter with him. I'm pretty excited for that, I'm not gonna lie. So when we last left off, we were given an option of either getting Primm Slim, who is inside the Vicky and Vance casino, to become the new sheriff of the town of Primm. We can get the NCR that's right across that once mine-infested little walkway over there, or we could go to the NCR CF and get a man by the name of Sheriff Myers to become the sheriff of Primm. We were told that he is serving a sentence despite the facility no longer being controlled by the NCR, but we don't know what his crime is. So I figured we will go there first and check out Sheriff Myers as far as an option to see who's going to help Primm keep law and order. And it's funny, just looking at this building right now, I'm just loving the Art Deco design. That's definitely a piece of architecture that needs to come back. So yeah, we are going to go do that. We actually do have it available here on our Pip-Boy. And as you can see, we're actually currently vilified by the correctional facility because it's where the powder gangers, well, really originated from. So we're going to go by Jean's skydiving over here and walk from there. I am so excited to use this baseball bat. I did have someone tell me, isn't it more like Negan? And I didn't watch The Walking Dead after Michael Rooker's character died, but I'm pretty sure Negan had a barbed wire, no? Okay, and I'm seeing more red on our compass, which does indicate a hostile nearby. And it looks like I can just see a coyote over the edge there. We're not going to bother him. Now, one of the options that we do have is, because we are vilified by... we are vilified by the powder gangers, is that we... okay, so... Alright, so... Female caravan guard, the only one without clothes on. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what the powder gangers just did there. But as I was saying, we can take their armor and wear it and sneak in. At that point, usually only higher level powder gangers would be able to figure out who we are, depending on the particular mission. But because we're vying for Caesar's Legion and we're not particularly sneaky, we are not going to go the route of going in disguise. Usually the only ones that do go in disguise and play sneaky in Caesar's Legion is going to be his Frumentari, which is the secret police, essentially. Also, I want to kill him. So, you know, there's that. Dang, bone fragments. So right now, their armor isn't even worth the weight to carry it. And we can see right over this ridge here is where we have to go. You can see with that particular tree, there's usually a honey pod in there, so let's get that. We can actually use it to make some black coffee later. Ooh, we got a little powder ganger hidey hole here. Let's get it taken care of. And I do love the name of the power attack that you can do. Grand Slam. While I know it's a baseball reference, I can't help but think it's, you know, Denny's. It's just cool little things like that that I love. Again, most of this dynamite I'm just going to be selling off. I prefer the grenades over the dynamite. There's no real reason why I do. Just is what it is. Ooh, looks like we have a letter here. The note reads, "Some of the fellas farther north are trying to organize. We're starting to think it's a good idea. Got to pool resources if we're going to survive out here. Sure, you've noticed the decline in travelers. If they're getting wise, so should we." So we know they're specifically targeting travelers, people just along the highway. Which we do speak to a few merchants who do talk about that going through the Arizona region, where the Legion has taken over, it's very safe to travel through. And that's man or woman merchant. You can go through, no problem. Freighters have been taken care of. It's safe. I really hope these aren't little conjugal visit trailers. Ugh. Again, just like the hotel or the casino, the smell must be fantastic in here. Was that a note? No, just a stain. Okay. Please do not stand when shots are fired. Okay. Now, we do have the option right now of completely wiping out the correctional facility, but that's not what we're here to do just yet. But we're gonna get there eventually. So don't worry, these guys eventually will be taken care of. And it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Oh, we got the key, some psycho. And in the cowboy hat, we do see Sheriff Myers. When you see that little half circle on screen, that means that a bomb or some explosive has gone off. All right, let's see if we can talk to Myers.
Maybe you ought to worry about the guys trying to kill you first.
Well, come on out. Sometimes it takes a hot minute for him to realize that you don't need to run around like a chicken with your head cut off. And I am gonna just blatantly steal in front of Myers. What's he gonna do? Throw me in jail? I'm already there, buddy. Once he calms down a bit, we will talk to him. Let's see if he's good yet.
Didn't know anyone would willingly walk into this place. Not unless they were looking for trouble. What's your story?
What did you do before you ended up incarcerated?
I was a sheriff, believe it or not, for a small town far to the west of here. Short version is that sometimes justice is a little slow. I helped speed it up one too many times. I'm not sorry for anything I did, but I will do the time. Fair enough trade if you ask me.
Oh, goodness. No, no. I'll kind of get into that in a second. Tell me more about what happened in the prison.
I understand that Cook was behind it all. I kept my head down the whole time. Didn't want any part of it. I stuck around, figuring the NCR would show up and put things back the way they were. No sense in making myself look guilty, right?
Yeah, Myers, you wouldn't want someone to, speed up justice just because they think you're guilty. Who's Cook?
Some kind of anti-NCR rebel. Some people just don't like being pushed around and told what to do.
I can understand that. Where can I find Cook?
He went north with some of the other guys. Didn't say where. Didn't say why. All I know is he's got some kind of score to settle with the NCR.
Why are you still here?
I'm not quite sure the kind of greeting NCR troopers will give an escaped con like myself. Figure it's better to stay put for now.
The lack of self-awareness that Myers has just is astounding. So who's in charge of the powder gangers?
Right now, Eddie and his boys run the place. They've got the guns and the dynamite, so they call the shots.
So we're gonna just ask Myers, of course. How would you feel about becoming Primm's new sheriff?
Assuming an NCR pardon comes with the job, and it had better. I also need to be able to do things my own way. Due process has its place, but sometimes it's just a waste of time. I'll need to know that I'm not going to end up right back in prison.
Oh, God. Does that mean you'll end up... does that mean you'll take the law into your own hands?
When I need to, yes.
I'll need to think about it.
Understood. Watch yourself out there.
Okay, so there is a concept called Blackstone's ratio. And it's one of the reasons that places, in theory, use you're innocent until proven guilty. And it comes from the idea that it's better that 10 guilty people go free than one innocent person be punished. And it's why we have due process. It's why we don't just go around lynching people, or we're not supposed to. And when you completely disregard due process, what are you shooting at, Eddie? Innocent people die because you didn't want to take the time for them to have their day in court. And again, well, I'm not trying to bring real life into this because, yeah, justice is slow and it's got its real problems, but we don't kill innocent people just because that's what our emotions say. And Myers is the guy who would not only start the posse to go and go after somebody, he would be the one with the rope. So we're not giving Primm to Myers. So that leaves us with Primm, Slim, and the NCR. And the decision that I'm going to make, it's gonna seem a little strange because whoa. Oh. Kill cam. Eddie's beating up the dogs. I really cannot wait until we get the animal friend perk. Because I gotta be honest, I don't like killing dogs. I don't like killing animals. Again, I know this is a very controversial channel, but I'm gonna have to put it out there. But what I was saying was, it's gonna seem strange, but I'm actually going to make the decision to give Primm to the NCR. And while at first it may seem counterproductive, hear me out. The NCR is stretched so thin that they couldn't deal with a little prison outbreak over here. We have people who have been assaulted and are dead along the highway. They're undermanned, they're undergunned, and they're beyond useless when it comes to keeping the Mojave safe. And they say that, that they're here for the Mojave, but they're certainly not showing us that they can be any good for it. Now, it may seem that I'm giving NCR territory. Why am I doing that when we're giving the Kaiser the Mojave? What are you shooting at, buddy? Sometimes you just gotta follow the lasers. If I were to give Primm Slim the job as sheriff, he will let some guilty people get away, but innocents will be saved, and I'm okay with that. However, he will be programmed to do everything that he can to protect the people of Primm. And in doing so, is probably going to end up taking out quite a few legionaries and himself. So, no, he's off the table. With Myers, there's going to be people of Primm who end up dead by his hand because he just thought they were guilty because that's what his emotions told him. Now, in addition, Myers is a hothead. Ooh, getting radiation here. When it comes time for the Legion, I could see him pulling a kamikaze almost, taking himself out and as many Legion members as he can, and consequentially taking out as many citizens of Primm as well. That's why we're going with the NCR. Not only are they stretched thin, giving them Primm will stretch them even thinner. When the Legion does come to take over, I can't see them having that much of a fight. And the only people that are going to die at that point, it's going to be NCR. Which one can debate is exactly what we want. I can't see the people of Primm sticking up for the NCR. Especially if they're going to be putting martial law in order. So with the NCR, it's going to be less legionaries who die because fewer NCR members, and you're really not going to have the people of Primm going against legionaries either. So yeah, we are going to give law and order to the NCR when it comes to Primm. If I have to choose someone to get taken out, it's going to be the NCR. Again, it saves us when it comes to Legion casualties. It saves us from unnecessary casualties in Primm when it comes to its citizens. And it lets us kind of, while it may seem like a boon, it lets us weaken them. It lets us weaken the NCR, which, hey, our Legion boys need the best kind of course that we can give them. I want to give them the smoothest ride that I can. All right, so let's talk to Hayes. Maybe.
Yeah?
Primm is in dire need of some real law.
We know Primm is a great strategic point, and we aren't blind to the needs of the town, but we're barely holding our own against the powder gangers. We don't have the guns or the personnel needed to carry out our mission, much less take on defending this town as well.
Shocking. What do you need to take over protecting the town?
What we need more than anything is bodies. If we had just one more squad, we could easily install a sheriff and still handle our primary objective of protecting the interstate south of here. If you'd like to see the NCR include protection of Primm and its duties, then you'll have to get some more troops up here. Knight at Mojave Outpost may be able to help.
Okay, so Knight in the Mojave Outpost.
Sam?
Let's go talk to him. First, let's get some sleep.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for it.
Oh, and it's almost Halloween in our world here. I never noticed this here, just a fallen tree. Sometimes if you take a double look, you'll find safes and such hidden in the rubble, but I'm not seeing anything here. So let's check our map. Mojave Outpost. Let's go. Now, we did see that there are quite a few bandits and whatnot going north. Let's see what we have going south. Never mind, we don't want to be in here. So again, this is quote-unquote NCR territory. California Sunset Drive-In. Let's see what we can find. All I can think of is in Fallout 4 how much scrap I can make out of this. I've only ever been to a drive-in theater once. It was okay. I can see why they kind of went out. What do you see, boy? What do you see? Ooh, we have ghouls. And we have a dog up there. But we can just leave him alone. So whenever you get people tell you how much they want to bang ghouls, they never mean these ghouls. But we do get some karma for killing them, which is great. We like karma. I do love this baseball bat. It'd be great if we found like expired popcorn or Twinkies on them, like if they were working at the movie theater. I'm gonna check our map real fast. All right, we don't want to go up here just yet. A harmonica and a pack of cigarettes seemed like a true cowboy. You do have to wonder if these ghouls are in pain or if they're even aware of pain at this point. Just because so much of their brain has rotted that it's, ugh. Like, do they even know what's going on? I mean, they are feral, but I always felt bad for the feral ones. Oh, and these are either going to be jackals or vipers. We'll see when we start whacking them.
You better get out of here.
Go on, get. Escaped convict, and of course, as I'm getting shot at, I am definitely taking their stuff. Fixer is great because if we end up getting addicted to drugs, it's a quick little temporary reliever until we do find a doctor. These guys can get annoying pretty fast. The further you get into the Mojave, they'll start getting things like grenade launchers. I've come across ones with Fat Man like launchers before, and that was just not fun, to say the least.
You like that?
So yeah, we can see, even coming down south, it's a mess. And we're leveling up. Okay, so of course we're going to put 10 into our repair. Did I just put 10? Yes. So put the rest in some medicine. So Purifier is actually one of my favorite perks. I'm glad that we do get this now. Especially if we do choose to do dead money, this is excellent. But yes, we do get an extra 50% against centaurs, night stalkers, spore plants, spore carriers, death claws, super mutants, and feral ghouls. You can't go wrong with this. Animantium skeleton's pretty good too, but we're gonna go with Purifier. Here and Now, which essentially puts you up another level, is pretty good as well, but we can be patient. I don't really need it. Excuse you.
Hey.
Do you want giant mantises? Because this is how we get giant mantises. Oh, just doing a quick overlook. Do we have any bottle caps? I'm going to take that metal armor because we are going to end up needing to do some selling. I would say that it's good to never be short on coin, but caps, I guess. As you can see, this kill cam was quite necessary. I don't know if y'all have ever seen those videos of the horsehair worms coming out of the mantises, but I'm really hoping that they are not a thing in this world, because I imagine giant mantises mean even bigger nematodes and parasites. So fingers crossed, we're not going to see any worms come out of their bums. Ooh, here we go. Now, I know I do not play Caravan, but for some reason, I really do love collecting the cards. Oh, Hydra, what does this do? I'm pretty sure that repairs your limbs. Let me take a quick double check. I apparently cannot talk today, and I apologize. Yep, restores limb condition. So if we got crippled, which is a very real possibility, and there was no doctor around, or for some reason if we didn't have stim packs, then that would fix us up. And over there we have a dried lake, but we're going to ignore that just for now. Really the only thing that we'll find there at this moment is going to be giant ants, but I try not to kill them if I don't have to. I do have a soft spot for certain things here. You know, of course, I've mentioned that I love the coyotes, I love the night stalkers. Again, rattlesnakes are probably my favorite real animal. I just love the idea that it doesn't want to mess with you, and in fact, it'll shake its bum at you, telling you to go away and just leave it alone. And I mean, you mix that with a dog, that's just great. Okay. I did once see some excellent fan art that someone did of mixing night stalkers with pythons, and it was the cutest thing. We have to be careful not to get poisoned here, just like that, because poison will kill you pretty fast. Especially when it comes to cazadors, but we're lucky not to really meet them out here just yet. The Lester. Oh, God. Sir, I hope the person who owns it is not named Mo. Oh, real quick, just gonna take some stim packs. Let me just make sure that I am currently not poisoned. All right, we're good. Oh, yes, Sunset Sarsaparilla. Uh-oh, I am over encumbered. Except by doing that. Where's New Canaan anyway? Right, follower. I wonder if we're gonna meet them later. Alright, let's see what we can find around here. Now, because we're not sneaking, I'm really not too concerned with enemies spotting us due to our Pip-Boy light on. There's Stein's journal. Guess whose luck keeps rolling? Let's see. Okay. I can hardly believe my luck. Literally, I'm agape. Just now, I was approached by a rather intense young man calling himself Mr. Fox. Yeah, right. When we were alone in my office, he let it be known that he is a member of Caesar's Legion. He knew that NCR troops and powder gangers often spend time in Nipton. It turns out that the Legion hates and wishes to make an example of both groups. The NCR for obvious reasons, and powder gangers for harassing Legion raiding parties on this side of the river. I didn't have to think a moment about Mr. Fox's proposition before accepting it. All I have to do is convince the powder gangers to kidnap the NCR troops at night. When both groups are in town, the Legion boys will scoop everybody up. Ha! For this simple task, I have been offered 8,000 caps. I could almost go back to the NCR right away, but who knows how much else I might make off this Legion lackey. Oh, buddy. I'm going to start stockpiling some supplies in the safe house between here and the Mojave outpost, just in case I decide to head back home in a hurry. Very exciting. Signed with a steady hand on the keyboard, Super Mayor Joseph B. Stein III, Esquire. Ooh, okay, so Mr. Fox. Well, the Latin name for a fox is, depending on which version of Latin you're speaking, is vulpus or vulpus. And who knows, we might end up meeting that Mr. Fox. Which, if we do, you do have to appreciate just how smug he is, just using that name. Alright, we do not have the lockpick skill just yet to open that. No biggie. You know, I'm really not one to be like, well, why is all this stuff out here if the apocalypse was 200 years ago? Because it's a game. But it's like, come on, you guys have so much scrap metal out here and you're not even using it? Like, come on. Imagine walking in that thing is like being inside an easy bake oven in the Mojave heat. Which I don't even know if those are a thing anymore. God, I'm old. All right, let's see what anyone's got anything to trade.
Hello.
Whoa!
Whoa, what? Oh. Ma'am? Okay. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to take care of, it looks like scorpions up here before we can go shopping. Which, okay, these things happen. You guys are interrupting my mall time. Come on. What the heck is all up there? Well, let's see if we can ignore it for now. Maybe it isn't going to pop up on their radar.
Hey there, need anything?
I'd like to see your wares.
Sure, here's what I got.
Ooh. Oh, I do not have the money for this yet, but that looks great. Okay, I really don't need any of this just yet. Like I said, the big thing I am on the lookout for is a katana. And I do want a chainsaw eventually, but well, we can wait. Now, I'm also on the search for any kind of pulse grenades because those are what do really excellent against any kind of robot, Mr. Gutsy, especially because really melee weapons don't do crap against them. Just real quick, I'm going to sell. Actually, I will wait to sell to him later, just so I can get things repaired before I do sell them off. I was gonna say, we can already see the sky changing just a little bit too. Just checked the Pip-Boy clock. It's about 2. It's just really cool, again, just how bright it gets during this time, and it really does feel like the Mojave. I can't help but think too, like, what if just a bunch of Cazadors started nesting in here like a beehive? Let's read it. In the year 2271, the Desert Rangers of Nevada and Rangers of the New California Republic met at this spot to sign the Ranger Unification Treaty. Under this treaty, the Desert Rangers agreed to be absorbed into the NCR in exchange for NCR's protection of Hoover Dam, New Vegas, and Southern Nevada against the forces of Caesar's Legion. Wonder how that's working out for him.
Coming from the north? Must be crazy to brave those roads.
What is this place?
Outpost. Mojave Outpost. Watching a lot of nothing feels like a big Brahmin pen for caravans. They've been stopped for a while, waiting for the roads north to clear. Or their clearance papers to go through. Looks like you've walked away, so if you need to shake the dust off, head to the barracks at the bars there. Not much, but better than nothing.
Any work around here?
Nothing I know of. But if you've come from the north, means you can travel freer than most around here. Might check the barracks, someone might need you to hoof it somewhere. Just be careful you go up on the roof. Got a sniper watching the road. If your gear's in need of repair, HQ's also worth checking out. Talk to Major Knight, he can help. Provided you got a pen and plenty of ink.
What are those statues of?
Those two? Represents unification. Mostly good for shade. Won't do much else when the Legion reaches us.
That's also very true. I'll be going now.
Watch yourself.
So, yeah, we can see that everyone's just jammed up here. Not to be gross, but the NCR is quite literally constipated. And here he is, Major Knight.
Hey.
All right, let's go.
Caravan, citizen, pilgrim, or...
Courier.
Just need something for the logbook, keeping tabs on traffic throughout the outpost. Although mostly just in, not out these days. If you're looking for the commanding officer, he's in the back. Although, he's got a lot on his plate, so if you speak with him, keep it short. Also, if you need any gear checked, we can get you up and running again. Once you fill out the work orders and sign for the parts, of course.
Okay, so one of the cool things about Major Knight is I believe him and Joshua Graham are actually one of the few characters who actually have a repair of 100 and can get all your stuff back to tip-top shape. So, let's start. Who are you?
Me? I'm Knight. Major Knight. I've been stuck here dealing with these caravans for ages now, but somebody's got to do it.
Not exciting enough for you?
It ain't so bad. If Caesar's Legion decides to push west through Nipton, old Mojave outpost here will be the front line.
Okay, so we don't really need repairs. We're pretty good. Can you tell me about the outpost?
NCR border guard duty mostly. It's our job to make sure the caravans can move safely along I-15 and Highway 95. Not the best posting or assignment, but it beats being sent east or patrolling the Colorado. Legion's pretty thick there.
All right, I'm really not interested in doing anything to help them out around here. So let's get to business. I'd like to talk to you about Primm.
Primm? Hayes units is stationed up there. We're having problems with some of the NCRCF convicts. What can I help you with?
Primm has seen better days.
It has. It was a promising trade town before the escape at the correctional facility. Lost a good bit of money at the Vicky and Vance.
Yeah, you should see what the sheriff and his wife lost. So we do have to go back.
Primm?
Hayes is undermanned and is requesting some additional support.
I'd like to help. We can't spare any more units. We have to maintain a minimum headcount at the outpost. Orders from the west.
Now, as you can see, we do have the barter skill, which is shocking, because our barter really is awful. We have the barter to pass this check. So, helping Primm and the trade route under NCR control would help the West.
I see the wisdom in that. I'll radio for a unit to head up to Primm and offer some additional support.
All right, so we're good with that.
Dismissed.
Okay, bruh.
Hello?
Now, before we head out, we can go check out the bar here, which we will do, because we also have another merchant, who is Lacey.
New face in the outpost. Must have come from the north. So, what do you have?
Anything you can tell me about the outpost?
Not too much. A lot of caravans going nowhere. A lot of troopers going nowhere, too. Few prospectors here and there, but they don't do more than stink up the place. Everybody's backed up here. You'd think it'd be good for business, but most of the traders are tight with the caps, even the larger caravan outfits.
Okay, let's check for any kind of work around here. Maybe she has something like a personal mission for us to do. Any work around here?
Work around here? Might check with Jackson in the main building, or Ghost up on the roof above, but watch out. She's kind of a bitch. Don't tell her I said that, though. Might take a bullet some night when I'm going to the latrine.
All right, I will check out what she has for trade later, so never mind, I'll be going now.
Fine, then.
And here we have Caps.
Looking for trouble?
No, only looking around.
Well, keep those eyes up and turning, or I'll set 'em spinning. Got no time for gawkers, or anyone looking for something I ain't selling.
How about a drink instead?
How about a drink? How about a couple is what you mean. Drinking to forget, and it's only getting me mad instead. Whiskey always gets my temper up, now more than ever. Drinking used to cause all sorts of trouble back west. Before I punched enough people, that is. And they learned to lay low when the whiskey hit.
Back west?
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm not from around here, and I'm not NCR. I run a caravan. Or did. Lost my caravan heading north. The driver burned to ash. And they didn't even take the cargo, they just burned that too.
Doesn't sound like raiders. If it was, they would have not bothered burning it. They would have taken everything.
My guess is Legion. They're trying to cut NCR's supply line, and the Mojave outpost is proof. Got us locked up tighter than a New Vegas virgin. No caravans in, out, and just try arguing with Jackson about it. Roads aren't safe, he says. No shit, you washed out old fuck-up. I didn't need a Brotherhood scribe to tell me that.
Who's Jackson?
NCR officer, trooper, whatever. Runs the place. He's over in the main building, the one without a bar. Jackson won't let me head north. It's not safe. And even though my caravan's gone, my caravan papers are keeping me here. So if you came here for work, my advice, go find the Crimson Caravan branch south of Vegas. They can help you out.
I wanted to ask you something else.
What's on your mind?
Anything you can tell me about the outpost?
You're looking at it. It's a watering hole without much to brag about. It's like a Brahmin drive gone wrong. Supposed to be a gate north, but you come here, you get caught in the pen. Better to head back home. If you don't have a gun and a will, don't matter much what you do when you reach here, except stare at that fucking monument outside.
That fucking monument outside.
Don't even tell me you missed it coming in. It's like NCR showing its dick to all the East. If the Republic put as much effort into protecting the East as they put into those two asinine giants outside, then they'd be worth that monument. Statues of two men shaking hands covered in blood. Don't seem to be nothing to brag about.
Covered in blood?
I'm speaking figurative. Isn't any blood on their damn hands. Of course, when Caesar comes walking through here, there'll be blood for real. And after the blood dries in the sun, he'll melt that piece of jet-induced sculpture down and reshape it into a bull.
Good idea.
Which, by my reckoning, is making up for a deficiency of his. But no matter what the state of his pecker, he's sure giving the West a good fucking.
Well, if you're gonna give the West a good lay, you don't only need a pecker. So what are those statues supposed to be?
One's a ranger, one's an NCR trooper, supposed to represent unification of West and East, or some such shit. As far as those two iron lovebirds go, they've got more spine you'll see in a year from the NCR government.
So I wanted to ask you something else.
What's on your mind?
Why are you here at the bar?
Whiskey and me are old friends. Keeps me going when times get rough. Like now. Got me into the caravan business, you know. Had to start transporting water instead of liquor, though. If I hadn't switched over, I'd end my trip with nothing but glass bottles rattling on the back of the Brahmin. What?
So, any work around here?
If you're looking to sign on with the caravan? No. Traders are bottled up tight here. Caravan works up north. Check with the Crimson Caravan, maybe. Gunrunners might have work. Wouldn't know for sure, though. Still, if you got a gun, guts, and feeling like going on patrol, might be some of the soldiers around here have work for you.
Well, despite us not having a gun, running and gunning sounds interesting.
Jackson might have something for you if you haven't already spoken to that old buzzard. He was looking to try to get troops to clear the North Road. You can find him over in the other building. The one without a bar.
All right, never mind, I'll be going.
You take care now.
Hello. So a cool little bit about Cassidy is her dad is actually a companion you can use in Fallout 2. And his name is Cassidy.
Hello.
And he's pretty neat if you ever have the chance to play Fallout 2. All right, and this is Ghost. We were told she's kind of a bitch, and we can see why. She's very, very pale in this sun.
You a courier? If so, this might be your lucky day. If you don't mind walking a bit. And your eyes are good.
Depends on the work.
I think there's trouble in Nipton. No traffic from there on the roads. While I can explain that away, the smoke from the town I can't. I'm sure it's been hit. What I need to know is if they survived it. Might be powder gangers with all that smoke in the air. If there's anybody left, they'd be in the Nipton Town Hall. Go there. Check it out. Let me know what you find.
Mind doing a little bit of recon? I'll do it.
All right. Look at you. All fired up and ready to go. Wish the others around here had that kind of attitude. Listen, I don't want you getting killed for this. So if you head there and run into trouble, I'm asking for eyes and ears, not your life. All right?
Anything you can tell me about the outpost?
Not much to tell. One of the worst posts in the NCR if you're looking to be anything more than a babysitter. Full up here, but just enough so we can't send out patrols. Gotta maintain a standing force. Jackson's orders. NCR's orders. Can't spare men for patrols or escorts, so caravans are backing up here like a Brahmin with a bottle in its ass. Typical NCR bullshit.
Hear any news from the West?
Kimball's Kimball. Not sure which end is his ass or his head. Caravan families are causing trouble. Big circle getting tense. The usual. Look, you want gossip, go to the bar downstairs and listen to a whole lot of nothing. Me? I gotta keep watch, then fill out the daily log.
Alright, well, have fun looking at smoke, apparently. Alright, never mind, I'll be going now.
Mind yourself on the plank going down.
Alright, so after we've run to Primm, it looks like we have another little bit on our plate. And that is to check out the town of Nipton, who, according to our very pale friend Ghost, it's just smoke's coming from it, and she hasn't heard anything from it in days. Let's see if actually we can see the smoke from here. Well, we can kind of make out the town over in the distance there, but you know, that's not our highest priority at the moment. Our priority right now is letting Lieutenant Hayes know that, hey, troops are coming, and giving Primm to the NCR, which will stretch them out even more. I mean, just the walk from the outpost to here, I think we're really making the right decision. And while this may seem like we're assisting the NCR, it really is more of a white elephant gift. And there we can see Nipton over there. But let's head back to Primm. We're actually going to do a quick little fast travel. There we go. Well, at least he should be happy, but we'll see how everyone else feels later.
Hey.
Come on.
Yeah?
I got extra support for Primm.
Yeah, I just got word of that. There's a squad of rangers standing by. Sergeant McGee will take over as sheriff and the rangers will be his deputies. This town will be in NCR territory. This means that aside from protection, the citizens will also need to become registered NCR citizens and pay any appropriate and associated taxes.
Ah, the taxes are always a guarantee. Yes, tell the troops to come and protect Primm.
Roger. I'll radio them over now.
Okay, well, I can't imagine Lieutenant Beagle is going to be too happy that he's no longer going to be a deputy, but oh
Primm
well.
is secure against outside threats. Be interesting to see how long the natives stay grateful.
The natives stay grateful. Jeez, buddy. Okay, and let's go let Nash know.
It's been a long tour. All I can think
Didn't
about
know if
now
he had
is going
anything
back
unique
home.
to say. Let's see if everyone is still in the casino.
if it isn't the Lawbringer.
Well, if I didn't predict that. What's your problem now?
My problem is that I'm no longer a deputy. I'm just a beagle now. Apparently 2.5 months of law enforcement experience doesn't count for anything. The new regime is just that. All new. He's rude. Don't tell him I said it. Primm has a sheriff now, just not as supportive as I would have hoped.
Well, then next time you can go find one. All right, real fast, let's check our quests. Okay, so when we come back next, we are going to work on our quest, Keep Your Eyes on the Prize, where we'll be doing some recon in Nipton for Ranger Ghost. Now, again, we just made a pretty big impact on the Mojave, though we won't see that effect for a while. But we did make our choice, and now when we go shopping here in Primm, you'll notice things like prices will be a little more expensive because now they have to pay the taxes for the NCR. So it's just something to think about. You know, it does affect you, or whatever faction that you play, and whatever you choose to do. So, on that note, it's actually going to be Halloween in the Fallout universe when we do our recon in Nipton. So, we got some interesting times ahead of us. I'm curious myself to see what they will bring. And on that note, if you could just be kind enough to like or leave a comment or even subscribe if you're enjoying everything so far, that'd be really great. Yep. On that note, later days, everyone.